Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast.
Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today, we have a friend from the Houston area that I just met for the first time about a week ago. Now, if you're watching this podcast, this is coming somewhere around November or October. But I've been following Nathan for quite a while because we're friends on Facebook. And I get to see what you're doing, man. Thank you for accepting the invitation and coming over.
Thanks for inviting me, man. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. So who are you, man? Where do you come from?
Well, I was born and raised in Texas. I was born in San Antonio. I moved to Houston when I was 10. Been in the Clear Lake area for about 18 years. So really, that's just where my base is.
Okay.
Clear Lake area, really.
Good deal.
Yeah.
You go to high school here in Houston? I mean, Clear Lake?
Channelview.
Channelview.
Right. And yeah. That was,
Why do you move to Houston? Like your parents moved here?
Yeah.
They had a job change or what?
Yeah. So my parents got divorced when I was 10. So
Okay.
we moved over here. My family I got a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles in here.
Right.
So just
It made sense to come over and be around the family.
Yes, exactly. It's in that time for sure. Yeah.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's where it started. But been in Clear Lake for a long time. Love Clear Lake. A lot of y'all might know Tom Berry.
Yeah.
We started in real estate together. I think Tom maybe had flipped one house in Ohio, and I had wholesaled maybe one or two deals, and then we started working together every day for like 2 years straight. Just friendly competition, helping each other out. And I mean.
How do you get into real estate?
Yeah.
So you graduate high school.
Yeah.
Do you get jobs or whatever, or
Yeah.
or you went straight into real estate?
No. I don't know if anybody's just like, I'm going into real estate, right? But no, I've always been in sales or kind of just doing my own thing, I always, and so I'd get jobs that needed degrees. I'd just talk my way in there, like
Right.
sales, and then I'd be their top guy, But then I'd look at my check, and I'd be like, what the heck is this?
Right.
When I first started wholesaling, I was in between deals or whatever, and I'm like, man.
How old were you when you started wholesaling?
I was 22 years old.
Oh man, you were young.
Started young.
I wish I would have started then.
Started young. I had bad credit. I had about $200, and I just hustled my way.
You just did sales jobs before you got to wholesaling.
Yeah.
How do you find out about wholesaling?
So I ordered this course from Tim Mai.
Wow! Shout out to my friend Tim Mai.
I love Tim.
Watching, yeah.
Yeah, Tim got me in it, so I was gonna have a place for him, right? But yeah, if some of y'all don't know Tim, Asian guy, always smiling, always wearing Hawaiian shirts, just a good guy.
Yeah.
But it was a $1,600 course, and it was online, and I was like, I don't have $1,600. He's like, we take payments. I was like, sign me up.
Yeah, Tim is not gonna deny you if you have money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of money.
Yeah.
You can say, I want to do $100 a month. Okay,
You got
sign
$100.
it. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was ignorant. I just did exactly what he told me to do. He just said put out 100 bandit signs in a small area, and that's what I did. I went to San Leon, Bay Cliff area, put out 100 bandit signs. I didn't even get a deal off of that. I got off a local paper there, and wholesaled it first month after I ordered the course.
What year is this? Like 2008 or something like that?
Yeah, about 2008, around
Okay.
then. Yeah, and wholesaled it. Partnered with somebody because I didn't know what I was doing. Made $4,000, split it, and I was like, "Oh wow!" Well, actually, that was a lot of money for me at the time. I had $200.
Yeah.
But
you go from 200 to $4,000. You're like,
Yeah.
what do I do with this money now?
Yeah. I was like, honestly, I was like, okay, this wasn't life changing, but it was life changing because
It's proof of concept.
it worked. All I did was move some paper around. I was like, oh, okay, I can make money moving paper. Okay, cool, great. Let's do this again. So that's where I started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at that time, I remember there was a guy, Jeremy Moritz, man. He was wholesaling. You remember him? Man, that guy was a beast, bro. Like, if he showed up on a house and you were a wholesaler and you were going to go talk to that seller and he was there, you just turned around and leave.
He's going to get it.
That's how good he was. I used to buy deals from him.
Okay.
I started at the same time, right around 2008. But I was just starting as a flipper.
Okay.
And I bought my first house in Pasadena from him. And that's when I started getting plugged in with the events that my house deals were doing, like they were putting together. That's when I started finding out about Brent Phillips and Team Mai and all of these guys that were the gurus back then.
Doug Smith.
I never met him.
Oh, no?
I know who he is. I use my house deals. I would post deals in there.
Yeah.
But I never met him.
Yeah, we met a long time ago. I met his dad. His dad was trying to oh, you want a job? And Doug was like, I don't think that's what he wants. And then, no, Doug, yeah, I mean, we know of each other. We've hung out a little bit. He's a cool guy.
He lives here in Houston, right?
Yeah.
I should reach out.
Yeah.
So, all right, man, you got your first deal. You collected a check, and then what? What happened?
And then I was off to the races, man. I had met Tom a little bit after that, and we were just pumping out the bandit signs. We would go to resupply. We would buy the 6x3 foot Coroplast sheets.
Yep.
We didn't have money for a table saw, so we got a
Nice.
box cutter,
Yep.
cut them up. We had made little signs. We bought these thick markers from Office Depot. Right out. I buy houses, as is cash. And my phone number at the bottom,
Now, were bandit signs at the time a thing, or?
It wasn't as much as it is now, but yeah, I mean, we were everywhere. I put out over 2,000 myself by hand,
Right.
from Galveston to Beaumont,
Wow.
and Tom was right behind me there too. So yeah, I mean, it was our only way of marketing. We didn't know anything else
Right.
at that moment.
Yeah, we were not in the digital era back then. We were cold calling. What is that? Like, how do you even cold call, right?
And I had a different mindset then. I was 22. I worked like 2 days a week and made a year's salary.
Right.
I should have worked more and made more and all that, but I just
Right.
had a different mindset. But
Now,
yeah.
you were partying and all that? or
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you're 22.
yeah, exactly.
All right. So when so wholesaling, how long did you wholesale for before you actually started taking down properties?
Yeah, I wholesaled for about 2.5 years. Tom, and like I said, Tom and I started together, and he was with another business. He had about 15 years experience with another business. It just wasn't going so well. Really bad actually at that moment. It was right after the downturn and everything. And so he had a lot of experience. So he excelled faster. But I was just wholesaling for 2.5 years. Then I bought a Subject 2 and flipped that, my first deal.
Okay.
And made about 15 grand on that. And I was like, okay, cool. That was in Pasadena also.
What was your average assignment back then?
It was much smaller than today, right? So average, I would say, was probably 7 to 12, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. But we had $40,000 ones. We had,
Yeah, they all popped up every now and then. Right?
Yeah. I always say if you do this long enough and you do enough deals, you'll get those big ones. You'll get those.
That's the
ones.
thing, right? When I first bought that house in Pasadena from this guy Jeremy, I get to the closing table. It was my first house, and I bought it for, I think it was 13,000 cash, but the assignment was almost 10,000, dude. And I was like, the lady's just getting $2 grand for this house. This dude is making almost 10 grand.
Dang.
How is this possible?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's when I first realized what wholesaling was, but I really didn't understand it other than I was just buying the contract.
Right.
But that's why I asked you what your average assignment was, because I remember I used to buy houses from another guy, Wendell Jones. What's the other guy's name that was very popular at the time? You probably know him. Forget his name, but he had a big company, and these guys were pumping out deals. But those were 3,000, 4,000, 3,000, 5,000. Because this is 2008, 2009.
Right.
The assignments are a thing, but there's deals everywhere. Like you can cherry pick.
I remember getting houses all day long in certain areas for 20 grand. 20 grand for these houses. Especially after the hurricane, right after that. With Ike.
That was back in 2000 what? 2005 or 6?
No, Ike was. I think it was.
Maybe 8.
It was right after I started.
No, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. No, there was some killer deals, and I just knew wholesaling at the time.
So you wholesale for a few years.
Yeah, a few years. Started with that, and I think it's good for everybody to start with that. I mean, unless you got a little cash, or something, but you learn the process. You get to know the players. You get to know repairs. You get to know how to figure out what is a deal, what isn't a deal.
Man, I like wholesaling better than anything else.
Yeah.
You could not get me to
Yeah.
buy a house right now. You could
Really?
not get me to go flip a house.
Okay.
And I've done them all.
Yeah.
But, I started backwards. So I started rehabbing.
Yeah.
And then went into a landlord and then went to flipping. And today, the house is a great deal. Okay, that's his great deal.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make money on the transfer of the deal.
You know what's funny, man? I just, I get personal sometimes. But about 5 months ago, I almost died. Thank God I'm here talking to you.
Wow.
Right? Yep. But before that, I was buying 4 houses a month myself, like buying consistently, and for flips and rentals, and and we still have stuff we're clearing out. Though I'm going back to wholesaling right now to the end of the year at least. I think there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right in the world. Let's just say right now. So I'm going back to wholesaling to the end of the year and see where we're at.
Oh, you need to come to our mastermind in Miami, bro.
Yeah.
Wholesaling today is a lot different from
Yeah.
what it used to be.
Yeah, I haven't wholesaled in years.
Now we do it all overseas, number one.
Yeah.
So our guys in Venezuela, they buy and sell our properties all over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
We do it nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
Like I left Houston a long time ago. I just haven't moved out yet.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
We do deals here,
Yeah.
but it's because somebody brings me the deal for us to sell it.
Right.
And it's not abnormal for somebody to make 500,000, 700,000, 800,000 in 1 month. It's not abnormal. Actually, most of my friends, that's where they are.
I see that on Facebook. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, I have a friend. His name is Forrest Blackburn, great friend of mine. He's the one I'm doing the mastermind with in Miami, and he's pulling 1-2 million with only 5 people on his team. So the evolution of wholesaling, it'll be interesting if we did the evolution of wholesaling.
Yeah.
Like
I used to do.
Yeah, where did it all start, right? Because
Yeah.
I remember Homevestors was like the way to go back then, other than the guys that were doing bandit signs like you and Tom, right? And some of the other guys. But today we're doing SMS, cold calling, PPC. Those are the main 3 that are bringing a lot of leads. Some people are doing mailers still, although the price per contract on that is way too high, in my opinion. And then JVing, man. There's so many JV deals going on around. It's like you could literally leave just with JV if you have a solid buyers list. Of course, when you go nationwide, it's different because you don't have a relationship with people in other towns. But after the podcast, I'll give you a little rundown on what's going on in this whole world of wholesaling. That's why I'm like, flip a house for 40 grand, 50 grand? For what?
Yeah.
All I gotta do is 10 contracts and I make 100 or 200. You follow me?
Yeah.
Why would I want to go flip a house and manage grown-ass man contractors that are not showing up on time? They screw up the job. Like I was watching on that RIA, you were there. We were both standing when the man was talking about the bathrooms.
Oh,
and I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, none of my guys ever did any of that.
Yeah,
I was like, all my bathrooms are messed up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy the way that our world has changed into marketing and all that. But so you took a house down, you sold it, made 15 grand, and that's when you started kind of like ramping up.
Yeah,
right? Like, were you holding these houses or just
no? Mostly, I'm extreme with things. So I started with wholesaling. That's all I did. Like, studied that.
That's it.
Got really good at that. Right at that time.
Niche.
Right. Then I started flipping. That's all I did for a while.
Right.
Flip. Then I bought some rentals. Thank goodness, because rentals. I love rentals. For me, I grew up with Tom. He was all about building your net worth. So
Right.
I remember he talks about it in some of his courses, and he'd bring us to his wife Melissa, and he'd be like, "Look, we just added $250,000 to our net worth." Yeah. She's like, "Great, how are we paying bills next week?"
Well, that's the thing, right? So let's talk about that for a second, because I was on that same boat for a long time.
Yeah,
I was putting properties away, and I was rich on paper, but I was poor on cash, man.
Yeah,
and I had a job, so I did it while I had a job, so I did it part time. But equity is not real unless you cash it, right? And then when the market fluctuates, equity goes up and down. But then you get toilet problems, AC problems, tenant problems. They're not paying for some reason or whatever, and yet you're still rich on paper. You may be worth a few $1 million, but literally your cash flow sucks. You know?
Yeah.
And when an AC goes out, that's the cash flow for that property for the next 2 or 3 years, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now today you can see higher, like $400, $500 on a single family home. It's not abnormal. But back then it was $250.
Yeah.
If that.
You're doing good if you're getting that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the first thing I scaled was my rentals, and I hated life, dude. Like, because I bought somebody else's vision. You see, when I saw guys like Blake Jarborough talk about, I got 100 houses, and I've cash flow $40,000 a month. Back then, to me, 40 grand was like, shit, that's a lot of money. And I had a job, right? I wanted to chase that, and I did, and I got there, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I got this cash flow, but now I got all this new set of problems that no one of those guys talked about, right? They kept it to themselves.
Yeah, rentals, I always say, I put it this way when I teach. I say, rentals are for the mature investor. There's no immediate gratification at all.
Right.
And so, but thank God I've had some for 5-6 years now. And so you move the money around. So actually yesterday I just pulled 32,000 cash out of one. I'm only in still at 58% of ARV.
Ooh,
so, pull some out. I pulled 120 out of another the other day. So I'm going to pull some of these out, this cash, and I'm going to pay off some rentals. So then that's pure, except for, taxes and insurance and, of course, maintenance.
Why paying them off? Why don't refinance the other guys out?
Yeah, I mean, there's different thoughts on a lot of those, right? Like, and all that money I pull out, it's tax-free. I don't have to pay
that's
taxes
what I'm saying. Like, why not refinance all of them?
Yeah, pull all the cash.
Pull all the cash
Yeah,
out, right?
there's a lot on that. I just...
Look, and the reason I ask you this, and I love this conversation, by the way, is because most of my podcasts are about wholesaling and this and that, and this is real estate investing.
Yeah.
Most of the people that, I would say not most of them, but I would say half of the people that we buy houses today from are landlords.
Yeah.
And they were professional landlords at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see them selling their property at a huge discount, because they don't want to go fix it.
Yeah.
It's not really at a discount. They're selling at a market price of what it's worth because of the conditions of the property, right?
Maintenance.
But they don't have the energy to go and throw more paint on it and fix the AC and all that. They're now, how old are you right now?
38.
38. Well, these guys are probably in their 50s and 60s now. They want nothing to do with them. They're like, just, man, son, get it from me. Like, this is my offer, this is my number, like, whatever. And then if the numbers make sense, then you take it. And that's why, after buying so many properties from people like that, I was saying, man, do I really want to be that guy?
Yeah, Tom talks about the energy, basically, here. It's what you're talking about, right? And he talks about that, and he actually just taught this 5-year planning class not too long ago, and he says, if you do this right, and the way I did it, not just talk, but you only have to work 5 years, and you never have to work again in real estate, if you do it right. You can, but you don't have to. Right? And he talks about you're gonna lose momentum, you're gonna lose energy, things are gonna happen. And I'm real. I got to that point about 3 or 4 years ago when actually
how many houses do you have at the time?
Rentals?
Yeah.
About the same now. I have about about 16?
Okay.
Yeah. So, we always have a lot of flips going.
And that's a great number, by the way.
Yeah.
I see guys that go to 100 houses like I did. Dude, it sucks. Like, 100 single family homes, they suck. Like, now, if I knew what I knew back then, or today back then, I was like, you know what, I would have never went to that. I would have just went to multifamilies and all that. But 16 is a good number, man, because let's say, and I'm just throwing numbers out. For those of you guys that are watching this, guys, this is a guy that has been in this business since around 2007, 2008. Started as a wholesaler, then went to flipping. Bro, I had the same, I didn't start as a wholesaler, I started backwards. I started as a landlord, flipping, then wholesaling, right? But in your case, you have about 16 rentals. You could have more because you've been around for a lot longer than most people. Right. But what I want to say and emphasize is that your number is a very safe number because you can be free with
Yeah.
16 houses.
Yeah, we can self-manage.
And you can self-manage.
Yeah.
And if 2 or 3 tenants are not paying for some reason, not that big of a deal. But when you got 100 and 30 of them are not paying, that's a big deal.
Yeah. I was just looking at the numbers, and we have about, I think it was right now 3 doors vacant. No, 1, 2, 4 doors vacant. We're still breaking even.
Yeah.
We're still breaking even on the cash flow.
Yeah, no. And your properties are appreciating.
Yeah. And then we get those full. We'll have an extra, I don't know, $5,000 coming in.
Right.
Whatever it is. Just
Right.
guessing, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's good because, like, people want to go chase greatness, right? I want to have 1,000 houses. I want to do 200 houses. Yeah, that's fine, but
Yeah.
have you asked somebody
Yeah.
that has that many properties,
Right.
what comes with it, right?
My specialty has always been flips. Everybody, lots of realtors in my area. And that's the other thing. We just really met the other day. Houston is so big. We could be doing the exact same thing, blowing things up, and we never meet.
No.
He's in Katy. I'm over there close to Galveston. We're about an hour away.
Now, you walk some properties that we had because when Jada was working with us,
Uh-huh.
she would send them to you.
Oh, Jada, yeah.
Yeah, and you walk them, but you always offer lower, and I'm like, no, I'm not selling them because I knew I could sell for more.
Yeah, I'm always conservative on my buys.
Of course, you have
always
to be.
conservative
You
on
have
my
to
buys.
be.
Yeah. And so, but I'll flip. All these realtors know, hey, it's Nathan's property. Oh, we're going to go see it. It's always quality. It's always good. We make, we average, about 40, I think it was 44,000 a while back. It probably went up last time I checked. Net
A flip.
profit, net. Yeah. But that's because I buy conservative, right?
Right.
And most of mine are, let's just say, 270 and under ARVs.
Right.
Right. These are
Yeah,
not
you're not
high-end
going for the
properties.
high-end, yeah.
No. Now, but I recently purchased, I'm going to do a Facebook Live soon. This is kind of a lead up to all that, I hope. But my best property I ever bought my whole career. And that is at 33rd and Seawall, basically,
Okay.
in Galveston. There is a cross street, but you can walk to the beach and walk to the spot, if anybody
wow.
knows where that is. Yeah. Duplex. Long story, I'll try to make sure, but basically Lewis with 2x4 construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I taught him 5-year planning class, and he was at James Toller's house. We were at James Toller's house, and he was talking about how, he was like, man, why did y'all invite me? This is amazing. He walked around with that, and he said this is like, he carried around like his Bible, he said. So that he had never wholesaled from there. Then the next week, he got a wholesale from texting. I don't know how he got this, but a great location. And the house really wasn't that bad. We got under contract for $170,000. And at the time, I thought it was worth like $450, $460 fixed. And if it was just a flip, we could have probably put 40, 50 in it, honestly.
Right.
But it's Airbnb, so we're going to put more. Well, we went, let's just say, without getting into details, we went back and forth on price. Well, I ended up paying him $120,000 for his contract.
Wow.
First wholesale deal, he put $120,000 in his pocket, very first one. And so I'm in at 368. Well, I just met the appraiser, and haven't got it back. I just met him 2 days ago. It's gonna come in at 600,000
Ooh-wee.
ARV. 600,000. Okay. That's awesome. That's not the best part. Some of y'all might know Paul Church. He's a really good friend of mine. He is the Airbnb expert in Galveston.
Yep.
And
He was trying to sell me his Ferrari.
yeah, okay. He
Yeah.
sold it. Yeah,
He sold it already?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, he sent me the picture. He's happy about it. Anyway, he told me I'm going to make $80,000 to $100,000 a year on this property.
On the Airbnb.
And everybody else was like, yeah, that's kind of minimum. I was like, damn. So if I take that money, don't take anything from it, I'll pay that thing off. And I mean, we're in at 368. As a matter of fact, on the refi, we'll probably pull 52,000 cash, but we're still in at very, very low amount. We just take whatever we're making, don't take any profits, just pay taxes and insurance and stuff and the normal fees. We pay that thing off in 4 or 5 years, and then just have an extra 80 to 100 grand coming in a year.
Yeah.
You know?
All for one property.
Love that. Love that. If I can find another one, that location, that, I know it's some areas kind of saturated, but something like that where you can walk to the beach and things, that's going to stay rented, and I'm looking for more of those for sure.
Nice,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
All right, so how do you almost die, dude? What happened to you?
All right, so I bought a bunch of properties from a buddy of mine, and he found this deal in Pensacola, Florida, and looked great. Looked like steel. I was like, yeah, let's go look at it. Well, went over there, and I guess that was my fault. I didn't check with the seller. I just figured, I bought a bunch from him. He's got this all coordinated. Went with him. Well, the seller was in a lawsuit with the lady she had leased the whole property out to, and she wasn't paying her, so we couldn't get in. I was like, dang, came all the way over here. I was like, all right, man, well, I'm just going to go to the casino. So I went to the casino. He had his family, so he was like, yeah, I'll let you know when I come. But he has family and kids and stuff. He didn't end up coming. It was just me. Well, I was on my second drink, and back then I could have drank, 6, 7, it was fine.
Right.
Second drink, well, my drink got drugged. Fell in my head.
Wow.
Yep. He ended up driving me back. I don't remember because I had a concussion. And I got a hairline fracture in my skull and some blood in my brain. So thank God I'm here. Everything,
wow.
Obviously feel like I'm functioning completely
Right.
fine, right? So, but basically, was, I won't talk about this but I've already started, so whatever.
Bro, we got people here that sat in that chair,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden nobody knew,
Yeah.
and they said, I spent 10 years in prison.
What? Shit.
You did what?
Damn.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta go back and watch your
Alright.
fuel now.
All right.
So-
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
So what was weird, man, I believe in God. I
Right.
I read the Bible every morning on my porch. I live on a canal, so I watch the fish and the birds, and I read my Bible, and I say what I appreciate out loud, and then I start my day. Well, within 2 days of that happening to me, my cousin in Harlingen, in the Valley area, he has a kid and a girlfriend, and just super popular. He fell and hit his head and died within 2 days of me hitting mine. I said, okay, wait a minute. God's trying to tell me something. So what is he trying to tell me? So he was telling me that basically I need to talk about him more in public on my Facebook Lives and things like that, and also get back to teaching like I did about 4 years ago when actually I split up with my fiance and just tough
Right.
time for me, right? And then COVID happened and I was teaching that. I taught for 6 years once a month at my brokerage, 2 realtors.
Okay.
And then they cut it off COVID BS, right? But I'm now, and I told Jane, I said, I'm back, man. I'm teaching again. I have four events this month. I didn't even count 5 now, right, I
Okay.
guess. And one of them has 100 people, 150 people. I talked at Ray Sasser's event. James and I are doing something at my office. So I'm just back helping people. I genuinely like to help people, and James put it in a great way. I can go flip a house and make 40, 60 grand. It's not gonna change my life. I'm not gonna drive a different car.
Well, change your pockets.
Yeah, we'll change
That's
my
it.
pockets.
Just
Yeah,
change your
I'm not
pockets.
gonna move houses. I'm not gonna. But people that have never seen that before, and they do that, it can change their life.
No, it changes their life.
Changes their life. It does change their life. So that's what I really like. I really like to do that, and I always say it's kind of like running. If you run long enough, you're gonna get in shape. You're gonna lose weight. Same thing as this. If you keep teaching, and I'm doing it generally because I want to help people. Well, deals come to me and money comes to me also as a result.
Yeah, the universe has a way to repay you. You just don't know
Yeah.
where it's coming from.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't teach for many years, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was focused on my business, and I think in 2017, I literally we were at the top. My business partners and I, Dennis, at the time.
Dennis who?
Dennis Rodriguez.
Okay.
You don't know him. He's one of those guys that it's in the space, but he's in the background.
Okay.
But he's no longer in the space. He went to do something else.
Okay.
We were flipping about 47 houses at the time. We had a huge construction outfit doing deals left and right, and that was the first time we ever felt rich. Like
Yeah.
we're making real money. Like like $500,000 in 1 month.
Yeah.
It's like, and you got 50 employees and all these contractors, and you have a big ass warehouse with materials and all that. But we weren't plugged in. We didn't know what anybody else was doing. A lot of it was because there was a lot of egos that I saw that I was like, I don't want to be close to those guys.
Right.
So we stayed away from it. But that's when Harvey hit. And when Harvey hit, we had all these projects, and our people walked away overnight. So we literally started going, like that real fast.
Oh, your contractors.
They all walked away.
Yeah.
So now I have 47 loans, and he was $250,000 a month in payments.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
yeah.
liability is like way high.
Yeah.
We had money, so we were like, we'll be good. You know, in 6 months, contractors will come back and finish the projects. That didn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
So we went from being there all the way until we literally, I didn't have $50 to my name. $50. And I lived like a rich guy. So I already had the house,
Bills.
cars, bills.
Yeah.
The rentals, they couldn't cover my overhead, you know, like that was not. So I became a motivated seller very fast and started cleaning up my plate. Got into lawsuits, had houses foreclosed on. I had to go do all the nightmares of a real estate investor, I lived it.
Yeah.
Shit that you probably say, I'll take a bullet before I get a foreclosure or before I gotta deed a house over.
Yeah.
I used to be that guy that would say those things. And guess what I had to do? So I had to go do all that. That's when I started getting myself plugged into events, masterminds, trying to find, because I was, in a way, we were the people that people came for advice, but we didn't know who to go for advice.
Mm-hmm.
And we were by ourselves, so huge mistake. Huge mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me into
Yeah.
educating.
Yeah, being plugged in, man, it's not just, it's huge because you see different people's perspectives. And, you know, at the end of the day, perspective is reality. What
I remember
you perceive.
your friend James, our friend, he goes to my podcast, and then after the podcast, he goes to my office, and he's like, Ricardo, so what are you doing? So I tell him all of these different projects that we have. He's like, dude, and I said, James, don't fucking do this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was starting to do a lot of projects. And he's like, why? I was like, brother, this is 2 years after Harvey. This is 2019. Yeah, 2019. I'm still dealing with these properties, man. And I'm getting hit on lawsuits and this and that. I was never expecting on a Harvey.
Yeah.
I had all these projects running around. So be careful with the monster that you build.
Yeah.
Because he was starting to grow like multiple projects and this and that. I said, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's good and you're making money. But if we have another storm like that,
Yeah.
and little did I know COVID was gonna come a year after, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people suffer because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you're teaching, you stop for how long?
Stop teaching?
Yeah,
About 4 years.
4 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, still help people kind of on the side and stuff, but you know, I used to always be in front of a classroom or have an event here, have an event there, you know, just helping people. You know, you just see you know, what we know and what we can share, it's just mind blowing to people, a lot of people, right? And you just see their eyes light up in their brain and they just go into another, they're like, what?
Yeah, you show them a world that didn't know it existed.
Yeah. Yeah, and so if I can impact people like that and help people that way, I'm fulfilled. I'm satisfied.
What are you focusing on when you're teaching? On fixing flips or rentals? Like,
I try to change it up. I try not to go too deep because sometimes, right?
yeah, it goes over their head.
Yeah, but I mean, I did an event in La Brisa in League City not too long ago. We did talk about pulling cash, moving money around, paying things off. You know, it's tax free, this and that. We talked a little bit about that.
Right.
We talked about some flips. We talked about wholesaling a little bit. Tom Barry spoke a little bit there about on psychology and mindset.
That's what it is, man.
Mhm.
Look, you take Tom Barry today out of this business and you dump him into who knows what,
Yeah.
and he's
He's successful.
gonna succeed because he's got the mindset,
Yes,
right?
yes. I wanted to go back to plugging in. So about 6 years ago, I plugged in and got invited to this group. It was invite only. We actually didn't talk about it. It used to be like Fight Club. We didn't talk about it.
Right.
But now, you know, people know about it. But there was top people in Houston, investors.
What was it called?
Top Gun.
Yeah, where Alex and a bunch of my friends were there.
Yeah, Alex Salvatore.
Yeah,
You know, I taught Alex Salvatore how to wholesale.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And he started that group.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
And he invited me there, but I never went.
oh, you should have come in. It was it was so good. Top guys. Just
Yeah, I
different
know. I know the
psychology.
characters. They were,
Yeah.
I know who was there.
Great stuff.
I love Alex, by the way. He's my friend.
Oh, Alex is a great guy.
I met him as a when he was doing foundations for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
That's how I met him.
That's
we got drunk at a rehab one time.
Yeah, yeah.
So like he I lived in Cyprus at the time, and he was doing a rehab, he was flipping a house actually, and he invited me. He said, "Hey, Ricardo, come check out this flip," because he used to do a lot of my foundations.
Okay. Yeah.
So I driving to my house, of course. I'll stop there, and he had a cooler. Dude, it was like midnight, and we were still drinking in there. So
Man, Alex can talk. I love the guy. I haven't, it's we all kind of go our own ways in our lives, but I mean, we call him. I text him that as, "Hey, I know I haven't talked to him." He's like, "Man, don't worry. Anytime you reach me, man, we're friends. Like, you want to go grab some? Let's go, lunch or whatever." But yeah, Alex and I actually did a huge event at the aquarium in Kima.
okay,
And I told him, "Look, dude, this is how we plan it. We got a call, we got a text, remind these realtors to come." We had about 50-something realtors show up. It's pretty cool. Did a class. We made $100,000 that day.
wow.
I was like, "Yeah, it worked so good, Alex. We didn't do it again." But I did. I bet. I mean, Alex. So then I showed Alex. Look, maybe I should say everybody will start doing it. No, just kidding. No, I'm just joking. No, I showed Alex how to market to realtors, because back then, at the Wealth Club and all that, when before Steve and Tom owned it, was I forget, can't think of his name right now, but someone else owned it, and we used to go, and at that time, people were like, "Realtors don't understand, they don't understand the numbers we have to be at, they just don't get it." And I was like, "Cool, well, I'm teaching them, and I'm getting tons of great smoking deals."
Right.
So then a lot of people, Alex and a lot of other people started reaching to realtors for deals, So,
Right.
But
That's I got a friend in San Antonio. His name is J.R. Hernandez. He closes 20 deals a month, all from realtors.
all from realtors. Yeah, awesome.
Wholesale.
Yeah, I got one. Those are some of the best deals too from realtors, because I got one under contract right now. Hopefully the seller brings all the paperwork, but it's got the house has been sitting since Harvey. It's got mold to the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's got a garage apartment above it, but whatever it's going to cost us, 70, 80 grand to fix up. And ARV's probably $260. I got under contract for $22,000.
Oh wow, that's cheap.
Yeah. So some of those are the best home run deals from realtors, and what I also started right before COVID, wholesale assistance.
Right.
So people would come to me, and I'm gonna call out some names that y'all might know, but people would come to me and be like, "Nathan, I want to do what you're doing." And in my head, I'm like, "Of course you do, right?" I said, "Well, here's the deal. Well, there's another outfit in town, AC Ramos or Prosperity Group. He does the exact same thing I'm going to do with you. He holds your hands, walks you through these deals." Well, he used to charge up to $100,000.
That was Tim Mai though. Tim Mai wanted.
Tim Mai and AC.
Yeah, but Tim Mai is the one that came up with a $100,000
Oh, okay.
charge.
Yeah, well, people paid it, right?
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Wow." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a lot of money. Is it worth it?" "Yeah, it's worth it. If you're flipping a house to make 40 grand and do it over and over and over and over." Yeah. I said, I don't know. I've never been a guy. I don't know. That's just my choice. I haven't charged. I don't charge. I said, "I'm not going to charge you, though you have to earn your way into the group. The way you earn your way into the group is you drive around and write down 100 vacant
Bring
homes.
the deal.
100 vacant homes, yeah.
Yeah.
That tells me at least they're going to put some work, and I'll pour
Right.
my effort into them, right?" And so I had 13 at the time before COVID. And out of the 13, one had done 2 deals but very inconsistent. Nobody else had done a deal. 77% of those people did a deal. I don't know another coaching program in Houston can claim that success rate, but I really poured my heart into them, right? And, they made the most money in their lives. And that was 30% of the deal. So one guy got $32,000, I won $39,000. There's a bunch of 20s. There's the smaller ones too. Those are the bigger ones,
Right.
And so some, Blake Hawkins. I don't know if y'all know who he is. He was in my group, right? A few of these people, right? And some of them, that's all they do with the rest of their lives now, right? That's all they do. And so I enjoy that, and I actually started that again. I got about 4 people in my group. There's some different, changed up some things for sure.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I was just going back to helping, teaching people, small ways, bigger ways. So
That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, I charge, and it's because my way of doing marketing works, and I don't work with everybody.
Right.
I used to do that.
Right.
I don't have time anymore.
Right.
So the people that I show, they gotta have money for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have at least $5,000 for marketing,
Yeah.
they're not my people.
Right.
Because that's how I operate, you know. So I'm not gonna tell you go drive for dollars when I'm not doing it. You follow me?
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, hey, let's go do some cold callers, some texting, this and that. This is how you're gonna pick a market and all that. But guess what? That's what I'm doing, and these are my results. But that costs money to operate the way I do business. So when I tell them, I say, look, I'm your guy. It's $15,000 for 3 months. If you can't do a deal after 3 months, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But because now I know they're financially solid. But if the guy comes to me and says, man, I don't have $1,000 to my name, I said, I'm sorry, man, I'm not your guy. Dude, you gotta go find somebody else that can show you how to wholesale all the way up.
Right.
So we attract a lot of wholesalers that are doing 1, 2, 3 deals already. So they got the proof of concept is gone because they know they can do it. They know how to negotiate. They just don't know how to set systems, processes in order to scale. And they may not be necessarily on the mindset that they need to be in order to scale. So that's where we work on them. And dude, we took 2 guys. That are, one of them is here, another one is somewhere else. I'm not gonna mention the names, but they were getting ready to give up. Like, and they were wholesaling, so they had all of those systems ready, but they were gonna give up. And they came to me one day, and I said, "Look, man, I don't see why you're giving up." They're like don't be a pussy or whatever, right? They're like, "Dude, everything we tried doesn't work." And I said, "Try this, do it this way." They're putting $200,000 to $300,000 a month to it, but they were getting ready to give up. So that's where we focus on, right? So all I tell them is 15K is one assignment, dude. That's it. And after that, you're on your own. Like, and now, if you want to scale bigger than that, then there is another, medicine for that, because now you got to learn how to hire people, how to delegate, how to, build a team, create a team culture.
That's a whole other process.
That's a whole different animal than just slinging deals left and right for good money. So, in my opinion, you got 4 stages in any business. It doesn't have to be wholesaling. It could be flipping. It could be a taco truck or whatever.
Yeah.
You're a novice when you start. You're learning. Then you become a hustler. Now the hustler already knows, can get a deal, can sell a deal, but it's grinding. Doesn't have many systems in place. Doesn't have necessarily the mindset, but he's hustling. Maybe he has the hustler mindset. Then they go to manager. Now the manager manages hustlers, right? Now he's paying Nathan 10% for acquisitions, the other guy 10% for these positions, and he may be doing part of the deals, right? He may be in the trenches with them. Then they go from manager to CEO. Now the CEO is just handling managers that are handling hustlers, that are handling novices. See how that pyramid starts growing?
Yeah.
That's a pyramid scheme, by the way.
Yeah.
And then from the CEO, you go to chairman.
Yeah.
Chairman is just guiding. It's just like answering a couple of questions. But now the chairman has a CEO that has a COO that have managers and hustlers and novices. And that's the evolution of an entrepreneur, pretty much. So we take them from the hustler mentality all the way to CEO.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's put a lot of different ways, but I like that way definitely that you're putting it. And you definitely have to go from a hustler to a mom and pop business, and then get out of the mom and pop business into an actual business that has systems, processes, and procedures, right? And then you eventually, I think where you're going, when you're saying that, it's like you become you're the visionary. Like, where are we going next? And you have to remove yourself from the daily tasks so you can do that. What is our next step in this company? Where are we headed? So yeah. No, I mean, and my thing was always freedom.
That's what I want.
Junkie.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Freedom. I want to tell you, hey Nathan, let's go to Cancun tomorrow.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, I mean, sometimes you got things that you already planned and you can't get out of, but most people in our business cannot do that.
Right.
99% of them can't do it.
Right.
And that's what I'm after. I'm not after a number like I gotta have X amount of millions or no. I just want freedom. That's it.
Yeah, freedom, and then I got freedom. I got there, and I had my employees working. I partnered with. So about 2 years ago, when I was kind of down. Well, I was just in a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't mention names, but basically there was my contractor. I had him for 3 years, and he worked for me and 2 other big names in Houston
Right.
that everybody would know. But he raised some private money. He already had some rentals. It was great. He was the best contractor we've all ever seen.
Wow.
He'd have 10 to 12 flips going. We'd just be like, "Here's the money. Call me when it's done." And it's done. Cool, great. You know, and he'd just have them going. So he raised some private money, and he told the other guys, said, "Hey, this is my last month. Let me know if y'all need anything done." And they're like, "What? What are you talking about? Like, you need more money, or you want a partner? What's going on?" He's like, No, this is my last month. Just being being a good guy and telling you if y'all need something done, let me know now, and I'll help you." I'm like, okay. So then he came to me and he said, "Nathan, I'm gonna do this with or without you, but I'd like to do this with you." So I partnered with him about 2 years ago, and so I don't handle anything on the construction side. I don't handle any design. I don't handle any of it. Like, what kind of people text me? What's the amount on paint right now? I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, I find the deals and I get the money, and then I list them to sell.
Right.
You know, that's what I do. But
so he executes.
Yeah, he knocks all that. He gets it all done. He's great at it. He's great at it. And so then, you know, so basically I was working from home, just taking my leads. I'd get like 3 to 5 leads a day, send to my assistant. She'd comp them. I taught her, and,
Right.
you know, all of that. And I had my freedom. And I just at home for a while. And I was like, okay, like, what do I do?
What do I do now? Yeah.
So I was like, then I was like, wait a minute. What is my purpose? Didn't really have a purpose. So I got back into it. I had to go back and get back at it, you know, and grow and do different things, you know. And so then I got back to, you know, my purpose and where we're going, where we're headed, what we're doing, you know. So now I'm back in it, and maybe God did this, you know. We're almost at to wake me up, you know. And you know, I look at it. I'm always an optimistic guy.
Right.
Just, you know, to say that first, but I honestly look at it as an upgrade. I really don't give a shit what people think anymore. Not
Right.
much at all. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
really
neither.
don't. I really don't.
I could care less.
Yeah,
Me
you know, I'm
neither.
over here cussing we're on video.
Oh, we're good. This for
Okay,
us.
okay. So, but yeah, you know, so I just have a different philosophy on life,
yeah.
perspective on life for sure. And that's the things. That's the 2 main things I'm focused on is talking about God and helping people. You know.
Yeah, the universe and God. They, you know, I say the universe and God because some people don't believe in God, but they believe in the universe. Okay, so be it. I believe in both. So the universe has a. I don't know if you read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Bro, highly suggest you read it. You're gonna laugh your ass off because true story, man. So I'm reading this book. I was in the oil and gas business at the time, working offshore, and I was flying from Singapore to Australia, and I wanted a book to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up a book. It was that book.
Mm.
I read half of it going to Australia, and I said, "Man, this book is weird as hell." Like,
Yeah.
because it's a story of a kid that has a journey.
Okay.
And then when I'm coming back, I read the other half. But by the time I'm finishing the book, we're maybe an hour away from Singapore. It's like a 6-7 hour flight. I start laughing my ass off, dude, like, because by reading that book, I came to realize my journey.
Mm.
And I was like, it was like you ever had an aha moment that you're like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I didn't know what this thing was all about,
Oh yeah.
right? Maybe when your message with God, right? Like, I gotta go back to teaching. It's an aha moment, right? Well, I had that back then in an airplane,
Yeah.
half drunk because I was drinking.
Yeah.
But I read this book and I was like, I highly suggest you read it. It's
Okay.
cool.
I'm gonna have to read it.
I was like, wow, now I know why this happened. Because sometimes things happens to us that we don't understand why.
I don't understand.
Wait, wow, how come that happened to me? Or, you know, I'm doing things right, and like me, when Harvey came and my contractors left. Now, I already knew that the universe was taking me through a path. I just didn't know why,
What the result was. Yeah.
or what the result was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it is. At the end of the day, it is it goes back to mindset psychology. Being self-aware, being, you know, for me, it's being kind of, at this point, too, spiritual. I got real spiritual after all that
Yeah.
happened, right? and just being aware of your emotions, your spirit, your mind, what you're thinking, all of these things. So kind of a aha moment I had a long time ago was, you know, when I started when I was 22 and I did a few deals with Tom, and Tom used to have that 5-year planning. He had a board. It was like 5 foot by 2 foot. He had a line down the middle with specific dates he's going to hit these goals within the next 5 years with pictures. Right? One of them, he was in, so he'll tell you a story. He was in the whole 60 grand with another business, about to get kicked out of his rental house, get his car repoed. His wife was working at Cracker Barrel.
He's talking about that.
But he had a yacht on there when he was going to get it.
Yeah.
He had when he was going to have $100,000 in the bank. He had when he was going to start teaching real estate. He had all these things. And people are like, what? Right? But he told me, he said, Nathan, he said, I'm not going to do another deal with you until you finish this 5-year planning class. Until you finish your goal board. In your 5-year planning, I already had the 5-year. I was like, okay. So, but you know, right after the class, it's not just about business, it's about life, planning your life.
Mhm.
I was with this girlfriend who was just kind of convenient.
Right.
And I was like, man, I left the class. I was like, I need to break up with my girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went home and did that. Yeah.
Yeah, you realize things
Yeah.
when you start writing your goals, and like I'm a firm believer of using the same, you know, goals, and like writing goals and visions and things like that, right? So I use the Vision Traction Organizer. I don't know if you read the book Traction by Gino Wickman.
I have listened.
Okay, so that book is boring as fuck,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when you implement it, it changes your life and your business,
Mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
So all my students, I teach them how to do that, and that's part of our coaching. Now, by being able to write dates, amounts of money, what your office is going to look like, or your operation, or what your life is going to look like, it's kind of crazy, brother, but you put all that stuff in writing, you're creating your treasure map. Literally, that's what it is. Life starts getting you on the path to make it all happen. I can show you today my Vision Traction Organizer that I wrote maybe 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I can tell you I'm 90% there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I heard people all the time like, oh, I have the 5-year plan. I haven't looked at it in years. I look back, I was like, oh, I hit those things. It goes in your subconscious mind. You're not even thinking about it, but it's
Gets
there.
you moving.
It's there, and we always say, talk about your goals in public too. Why? Most people want to be a person of the word, man, woman of their word, right? And so if you talk about those things, keeps it fresh. You already told people you're going to do it.
Yeah, it keeps you accountable.
Yeah. And so it's
Yeah, so
powerful.
as people with scarcity mindset will tell you, don't tell your goals to anybody.
Yeah.
They're gonna wish you bad luck.
Yeah.
They're already wishing you bad luck
Yeah.
any fucking ways. You know what I'm saying? So might as well telling them that way. You know what? When you hit it, they're like, "Fuck that guy. He did it." You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you did it with pride. You know? So
Yeah.
I agree with you, brother.
Yeah.
Like, my wife tells me all the time, "Don't tell your stuff to anyone." It's like, look, I'm past that. Like,
Yeah.
I tell people what I'm doing. I don't care. Like.
Mhm.
Because the other thing is, it repels people that are not supposed to be in your life, but it brings the right people into your life.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So-
So you attract, and you put it out in the universe, and the universe hears you. You're like kind of like what you
Yeah.
were talking about, you know, and it starts to come to you. You start to attract. And James likes to say, "What kind of person do you need to become to attract that thing you're trying to attract?"
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
So.
Yeah, you gotta. I say, I say that your external world
Yeah.
is a reflection of your internal world.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that James is saying. Like, who do you
Yeah.
need to become internally,
Yes.
so you can, attract people
Receive.
from the outside. So yeah, and I love James, man. Every time I meet somebody from the South, that Friendswood, Clear Lake, the area where you guys are, I ask him, "Do you know James Toller?" Because I know he's in Clear Lake, right? And like last week, 2 weeks ago, I was in Dallas at the $1 Million meeting. It was a big meeting that they had over there, with investors from all over the world, the country.
Yeah.
And I met a guy from Friendswood, and the
Yeah.
guy's doing a lot of deals.
Yeah.
And I said, "Do you know James?" And he's like, "No, I don't know James."
How do you not know James?
And I was like, "How do you not know James,
Yeah.
bro? Like that's his area."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, the guy with the lending company."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, he's doing loans now." He's like, "Well, I never met him, but I've heard of him because somebody that we sold a house to closed on a deal using his money.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, you need to go to that meetup because
Yeah.
James does every Monday like a 2-hour meetup where he brings somebody and all that. And to me, that's one of the most solid groups in Houston, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's just in his small office. He's trying to, he rearranged it because, it's to fit more people. In there. And he'll have just on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. Who goes to meetings at Monday at 10 a.m.? Well, these are entrepreneurs. These are people that he wants there, right?
Right.
Well, he's got 40 to 60 people. He had a women's meetup group. There was like 70-something women there.
Yeah.
He just started advertising that like 2 weeks ago. So, but James and I are very similar. We reach out to people in different ways. One of them is Facebook. I would say, we're what do I say? How do you say? Facebook famous?
Right, Facebook famous, yeah.
But no, it's just a way to reach out to people. I use Facebook for business. I'm not here for the. Believe me, I enjoy meeting people, but I don't need to be famous.
Right.
I'm doing it for business to help people to reach out. And so. But yeah, no, the meetup's great. James is a great guy. We hang out all the time. We just had lunch yesterday. And, so I love surrounding myself with quality people like you. Just surrounding myself with people like that. And,
thanks, man. What's next for you, Nathan? What's coming in the future for you?
So I'm always optimistic, and I reached Tom. Tom knows this ever since he met me about 15 years ago. And I started to tell him, I think, I'm just kind of chill out to the end of the year because I think things are. He's like, Nathan, I've never heard you say anything like that. I said, well, you probably it's probably true then, right? Not saying that I'm not trying to doom and gloom. I'm not. All I'm saying is that we're clearing out our flips to the end of the year, refinancing some stuff, finished up the Airbnbs. We're still buying, but we're going to buy at 65 cents minus repairs. We're probably not going to buy a lot there unless we get it from realtors and wholesale systems.
Right.
And so that, but though, once I see the world by the beginning of next year, where it's at, then my goal is to we have a duplex we're going to build a 5-unit in the back. There's about 15,000 square foot back there. And then I want to build some strip centers. And rent those out, sell some of those, make $1 million bucks or whatever.
Right.
Then keep a few, right? I have the best guy on my team, my contractor.
Yeah, that's
business partner.
The hardest part of this business is the contractors.
Yeah.
Man. On the rehab business, right, or construction business, is managing contractors.
And we're also helping contractors who have never flipped, who have a little bit of cash
To go flip.
to flip with us. We're also doing that right now.
That's good.
So we're enjoying that, helping them out. At the end of the day, we're just helping people out. We're just helping people and making some money while we're doing it.
Absolutely, why not? Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. The contractor learns the business.
Yeah.
You guys profit from it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they gain experience as well on how to find the capital, how to find the deal.
Mm-hmm.
How to execute. What to do as a contractor or what not when you're rehabbing a property, because most people watch HGTV and they think they gotta do every house like that, and it's not like that. Like when you got rentals, you don't need to put that $3,000 granite countertop on it. You need the $850 one.
So, no, I mean, and I've never had the scarcity mindset. It's like, help all these people, and there's so many deals out there that people aren't getting to. Guess what? People are still getting foreclosed on. People are still doing these things. Why? Because one of us hasn't reached out to them to help them before they get there.
You're absolutely right, man. 100%.
So
100%.
There's so many deals out there all over the place.
Yeah, there's more deals that one person can do. Like otherwise, there wouldn't be thousands of investors. Yeah. Now it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because the reach is like these things like podcasting, YouTube, education is way out there. When I started, man, it took me a while to find the groups that I started becoming a part of back then, because the connectivity wasn't there. Like my house deals, that was the only thing I knew in Houston, and when I went there, then I met all of these other people that took me to a whole different lane. Michael Plax, the CPA, and Jet Lending, and right, Alex when he had Trinity Foundation, all of these different people that were in the space back then that are still in the space today, but they may be doing different things. But yeah, man, it's you've had an amazing journey, man, and you started as a wholesaler, then you went to a flipper, then you became a landlord, then you went to teaching, and so you've been all over the place now. And
multifamily too.
Multifamily?
I sold them. Yeah.
You sold it? Yeah, there you go. So multifamily. And one thing that I liked about what you said is that you're chasing freedom. You're not chasing maybe shiny objects or things of that nature. I'm after the same.
Shiny objects never come when you chase them.
Right.
They only come when you attract them.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Well, brother, thank you so much for coming in today, man.
Yeah, of course.
It was a pleasure. It was an honor to have you.
Yeah,
Guys, attaingrowth.com, February 3, 4, and 5, Houston, Texas. Get your tickets right now. They're on a discount. This is somewhere around October or November. So remember, my tickets go up every month because I bank on procrastinator, bro.
Yeah.
I bank on procrastinator.
Yeah.
Dude, we sell our VIP ticket right now for $797.
Yeah.
At the door is $2,000.
Right.
And usually we sell about 10 at the door.
Well, let me flip some of those.
Let's do it. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, bro. Yeah, absolutely.
I've got a Circle of Wealth. Look that up. Coming up. If you want to come attend a seminar, we got a lot of great people speaking, business owners. And Andrew Franklin, and Boris Sanchez will be speaking at on the west side of town. Look me up. Follow me on Facebook.
What day?
Nathan Haley. I don't know off the top of my head.
You know.
But look me up on Facebook. Follow me. I can't add you anymore on friends, but follow me and you can look at everything I post.
Boris, so we'll make sure Boris has been here before too. Great guy. We'll make sure to look you up, guys. What is it called again?
Circle of Wealth.
Circle of Wealth with Boris, Andrew, and Nathan on the west side, right? You said.
Well, Circle of Wealth is a different one. I have 4 of them, but that's one of them. And then Andrew Franklin, me, and Boris. We don't really have a name for it, but it's Andrew Franklin, me, and Boris. It's going to be on the west side in City Center area.
Okay, perfect. Right here, just down the road.
Yeah.
So amazing, guys. So look Nathan up. Make sure you send him a message. Tell him you saw him on the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Welcome to the Real Estate Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today we have my friend, Mr. Frank Chan. And Frank, this is the power of the masterminds.
For sure.
We met at the family a couple of years ago, I would say. Cross paths, right? So
Yeah. I don't really typically, my clients are typically national. I don't really meet up people in person, even in Houston. But you text me your address, I was like, yeah, you're just a rock
10 minutes away.
10 minutes away. So just
where are you at in town?
right off the Spring Branch near the Memorial Hospital.
That's just down the road. Guess what? We're like, Florida's got more bilingual people than anyone in the country, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we can't find them. And there's some of them, but there's not that many like here in Texas. So
Yeah. Which,
what happened after that?
by the way, I think if anybody who's listening to this who has kids, if they're ever like at home playing Fortnite or doing something in their college years, it's the best job that really launches the entrepreneur mindset is a service-based job, right? When you're serving other people, these are nurses, teachers, right? It's a hard job, but I think early on, being a server at a restaurant at a hourly wage, I was making $2.13 an hour, right?